Hi, welcome to something that's very different for my channel. I am doing a Camino de Santiago packing video. Now, this is unlike most of the content on my channel, and if you watch my videos, you'll see that for the most part, I make studio-based vlog type videos showing my studio practice, my painting practice. But I am heading out on a journey on the Camino de Santiago, the French route. This is my third Camino. I did the French route in 2015, the Portuguese route from Porto in 2019, and today, or this week, I'm leaving for my third Camino on the Frances again. Now this Camino is a bit of a working trip as I'm planning a art project that's going to keep me busy for the entirety of my walk, but also for the foreseeable future. Now, if you don't know, the Camino de Santiago is a medieval to contemporary pilgrimage route across Spain and Europe in general. There's a saying that says that all roads go to Santiago, lead to Santiago. So the route that I'm doing is probably going to be over 900 kilometers. I'm planning to walk for about 40 days, and so this is what I'm bringing with me. So let's get started on my Camino de Santiago artist pack shakedown. So starting with the thing that everything sits upon, the shoes. These are an old pair of Keens. These are an old shoe that I have. I actually bought another pair of shoes for the Camino, but I realized while breaking them in that they're too small for me. So I decided to go back with my Keens. These are the shoes that I walked with on the Camino Portuguese. They're okay. I wouldn't say they're my favorite shoes, but I'm not buying another pair of shoes at this point, and I know that they work. Shoes. So I am bringing a lightweight down sleeping bag. I'm not going to pull it out of its bag. This is a stuff sack that makes it squish up. I know lots of people get away with just a silk liner or with a small blanket, but I am going at the beginning of October into November, so things can get chilly and I like to be nice and warm. So, sleeping bag. This is my 2.5 liter water bladder. I used it on my last Camino. I think that I drink a lot more water when I'm using a water bladder. I also use this backpacking and it's terrific. For the backpack, this is an MEC bag, Mountain Equipment Company. Actually, no, it's a Mountain Equipment Co-op bag because it's older. This is actually my sister's bag, so thanks to my dear sister for lending this to me. This is a 30-liter bag. On my first Camino, I walked with a 60-liter bag and I filled it to the brim with basically 40 pounds of stuff. I ended up shipping things ahead to the pilgrims' office in Santiago because I couldn't carry all of my weight. So I am being so careful to keep my weight down on this trip. On my Camino Portuguese, which was about 2 weeks, I think like 11 days of hiking, my bag was about 14 pounds and I fit it into a smaller backpack that I have that's a 22-liter bag. But unfortunately, this stuff doesn't fit in that bag. So I'm using my sister's neck bag. Pretty excited to see how this goes. I like the bag itself. I also have a pack cover in here to protect it from the rain. Next, I have a pair of flip-flops. On my Camino Portuguese, I was trying to keep my weight down so much that I only brought my hiking shoes. Eventually, I bought these on the Camino for €2, and they've been my swimming sandals since. So I quite like them. They're light as anything, but for the showers, very useful, and also for in the albergues. Sometimes the floor is cold and just sock feet, and it's nice to have like a layer between you and the floor. Then I'm bringing 3 pairs of socks. These are all merino wool. These 2 pairs are brand new, smart wool. I haven't worn them yet. We'll see how they go. And this is a pair of darn tufts that are broken in. So I've got a gamut here. On my last Camino on the Portuguese, I only brought 2 pairs of socks, but I made a note to myself to bring 3 in my journal. So there you go. For warm layers out in the mornings, I have a buff. This will also double as like an eye mask when I'm sleeping. I can put this over my face. And a pair of mitts. These are not the mitts I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring a pair of those really lightweight gloves These are just like a placeholder right now, because if I bought these in Latvia and I'd be so sad to lose them on the Camino, so I won't bring them. Plus they're totally wool and they're way too warm for the Camino. But bring a pair of mitts and a buff if you're going at this kind of time of year. This is my pack towel. This is the smallest little pack down towel ever. I know that they make thicker ones, but this one is just so thin and light, and it's like one of my favorite backpacking things, and I've had it for years and it does a great job. I have two sports bras, one from Everlane and one from Mark's Work Warehouse. It's very lightweight. I think I could kind of get away with one, and on my first Camino I lost one halfway and I only had one for most of it, but it's nice to be able to change when you're sweaty. I have 3 pairs of underwear. They're all different varieties and brands and constitutions, so we'll see which ones I like the most. I have 2 bandanas. So one bandana is for nose and one is for pee. So on the Camino de Santiago, often you're going for a long way without a bathroom, and you find that toilet paper starts to add up, and I don't want to be part of that. So I'll bring a pee rag and I can wash that every night, just as I'd wash my hanky or any of my other clothes. This is where I'm stressed out. I'm bringing 2 pairs of hiking pants. These are actually my climbing pants. These are from MEC, Mountain Equipment Co-op, and these are a pair of hiking pants from Eddie Bauer. It's really hard for me to buy pants off the rack, so I had to alter these ones a bit by moving the button over an inch, which makes it a little funny at the front, but I think they'll work. And then for these pants, I also have a belt that I thrifted, but is Fjallraven, if that's how you pronounce it, that Swedish outdoor brand, and I like the color. So those are those. On my previous 2 Caminos, I wore the same pair of Lululemon's Dance Studio pant, but unfortunately they don't make them in a tall anymore, which I'm very bummed out about. I've actually bought them in a regular length, and I'm like, no, they're too short, and I brought them back. So here I am trying to navigate the world of figuring out what my next go-to pant is. You pack your fears. Here I am with 2 pairs of hiking pants. I've also packed a pair of thin long johns. These are bamboo fiber. I got them in Finland when I was cold. So these can be for layering, also for kind of hanging out in, and for sleeping in. They are a little bit see-through, so I don't think I'd wear them out and about. And lastly, another pair of bottoms. I have like a very thin pair of Thigh Society shorts. These are like anti-chafing shorts for your thighs. As I said, I'm packing my fears here. I'm afraid that I'm going to have thigh problems, so I'm bringing a pair of shorts. I can also sleep in these. So basically I have 2 pairs of pajama bottoms. For tops, your girl likes wool. So I've got a long sleeve icebreaker top. That's like a 200 weight. I don't know what the weights mean. This is a short sleeve icebreaker top. I think I'll sleep in this one. This is a long sleeve with a collar. This is like from Costco a long time ago. I think it's a 30% merino, 70% poly. I do know that I get stinky in it sometimes, but hopefully on the Camino we won't have anxiety sweats. We'll just have working hard sweats, so it won't be as stinky. And this is my all-time favorite shirt for hiking in the last couple of years. This is a 50-50 rayon and cotton that comes from Mark's Work Warehouse. I thrifted it. But a really lightweight shirt that keeps the sun off of me. I busted through both of the elbows on this shirt on my last hiking trip. So I've just reinforced and patched the elbows on the outside and on the inside. And I'm hoping it will live at least through this Camino before I have to retire it. I know that there will be warm days on the Camino in October and November, but I generally like to have my arms and legs covered. I'm really sensitive to the sun, and I don't like to just like sunscreen all of me. So I'd rather wear more clothes even when it's warm out. My last indoor layer is a sweater. This is a cashmere sweater that I thrifted. I love cashmere. It's so nice and soft. The only downside is if I have a run-in with bed bugs, I will not be able to put this in the dryer, so it might be, I don't know, we'll come to that when we get there, if we get there. I did run into bed bugs on my first Camino in 2015 in Osabrero, and basically you just throw everything in the dryer and you sit in your rain clothes for an hour. For outerwear, I have a puffy raincoat and rain pants. More things that I wear, I have a hat, sun hat, sunglasses with straps. Under here, these are like lightweight packing bags. This is actually like a grocery bag, like a produce bag, reusable. These I will like put all of my stuff in so that my bag is organized inside. And this bag with its little plastic beaner is for the shower and for my toiletries so that I can bring it into the shower with me and clip it up to the shower curtain or whatever. Keeping on the toiletries line of thinking, I've got a toothpaste and toothbrush. I cut this toothbrush for another hike when I wanted to keep my weight down, so it is cut. I don't know if you necessarily need to do that for this kind of trip. A rock deodorant, a little heavy, but I love that stuff. A little bit of hand sani. I refilled this container of sunscreen, so it's actually 50 SPF in here, and lip chap. And then in this container, I have my soap, and this is an old like shampoo bar that I can finish using. I'm not too picky when it comes to toiletries, so it is what it is. Also in this little bag, I've got a piece of moleskin, a couple band-aids, some clothespins, extra head earplugs, elastics, and teeth flosser things. So and bobby pins. So that's just some random stuff. These are laundry sheets. I think there's 6 here, so if I have access to a laundry machine, I can just put my soap in there and I don't need to buy and look for soap. And then I've got some Fisherman's Friends, because you never know if you're going to get a sore throat, and these are my favorite, like lozenge. Yeah, I just kind of always travel with them, so here they are. And then more earplugs. So I'm coming with 3 pairs of earplugs. And luckily my sleeping bag has a little pocket inside, so I can just put all my earplugs in there and hopefully they won't get lost. Then we've got electronic stuff. I've got an adapter, my pluggy, cell phone cord, and earplugs or earphones. Oh, this is a little sewing kit. So it's just got some thread and 1 needle in case I need to repair something along the way. Keep that in a film canister. I've had this sewing kit since I was in Girl Guides. Then I'm bringing this spork. I 100% expect this spork to break because these are crap and I've gone through so many and I keep buying them for some reason. But I do like eating snacks along the way. So once this breaks, I'll just pick up like a plastic to-go fork or something and I'll have that, whatever. You accumulate things along the Camino. And then I'm bringing a small little tote bag, grocery bag. It's very lightweight. And I've got my wallet with my cards in it and my passport. So those are all the things I'm bringing. Yeah, except for the last thing, which is the most exciting thing for any artists watching. I'm bringing a sketchbook. I'm not bringing this sketchbook because I'm going shopping today for my sketchbook. This is the sketchbook that I brought to Europe with me last year, to Finland and to Greece. There's a flip through of this on my channel somewhere else. So I just have it here to remind myself and for weight. So I can kind of guess the weight. And this is my kit of art supplies. I could maybe downsize this a bit. So I've got an eraser and pencil sharpener and a little tube of gouache, a white gouache. Got a napkin in here or a paper towel for blotting. Then we've got 2 felt pens, felt liners, 1 ballpoint pen, I have 3 pencils, one HB, one B, one B2 or 2B. And then my brushes, got one of these chiselly brushes, one smaller one for details, and then 2 of these that hold water in them. Then here's my watercolor set. So I recently, today, went through my watercolors and combined another set with my Van Gogh paints. So most of these pans are actually Winsor Newton. The ones that came with my Van Gogh set were student grade, and also the pigments were like weird pigments, whereas the Winsor Newton ones are like cadmium light, alizarin crimson, phthalo blue. Anyways, so I downsized my palette so it doesn't weigh as much. Just after I filmed this video, I went and got my sketchbook for this trip. So this is about 200 grams less than my other one. It's a multimedia watercolor and drawing paper with a nice tooth, so I'm pretty excited about that. And then I was able to ditch my tube of gouache because I picked up these 3 gouache half pans from this company called Stone Ground. I believe they are a company out of Regina in Saskatchewan. I'm really excited to use them. I've only used gouache that have had like an acrylic base to them before, and they dry up and you can't reuse them. But anyways, here's what my palette looks like now for real. So I'm not sure if the weight is really reduced now that I added 3 more pans, but anyways, back to the video. Here's the bag. My hiking clothes that I'll be wearing on the plane and on my first day are on the floor right now. I'm not going to change into them. But yeah, the bag right now is weighing about 15 pounds. In kilograms, that's this much. I'm Canadian, so I go back and forth between the two, and some numbers make no sense to me. Yeah, so it feels pretty good. It doesn't have water in it. That's going to add a couple pounds. And also, I have some snacks with me. These are just snacks that are left over from a backpacking trip that I will bring. Typically, you don't need to bring snacks with you on the Camino. You might buy them as you go along, but to bring them from home is not really necessary. But to get me through the airports and trains, I've got some snacks. So I'll bring those. Oop. If I can fit them in here. We are like pretty packed. I might go through this one more time and see if I can get rid of any bulk or weight or whatever. You know, maybe it's the extra earplugs. I just gotta get rid of the extra earplugs. One thing I should note is that my hiking ensemble is not complete right now because I'm missing trekking poles. We are flying with our bags as carry-on, and you're not allowed to bring trekking poles as carry-on with most airlines. It's not allowed unless you are like physically dependent on them. So I'm going to be buying a new pair at Decathlon, which is a sporting store, when I get to France. Hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe there will be more Camino content in the future. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, let me know in the comments, subscribe, and I'll see you around. Bye. I will walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.